Andala. Welcome back to another invitation of the Divine MAAT. And in this exploration that we've made from one principle to the other, we shall never forget that all of them are being intertwined. As you work on your embodiment of love, you're also working on knowing yourself better. You are also working on overall bettering, becoming the best version of yourself that you can. So here we are just exploring another aspect of you, another aspect that you can work on to become the best version of yourself. This principle is to embody kindness, to be more kind. MAAT is calling you, inviting you to express, to embody, to share, to promote kindness. And what do we mean by kindness? Those gestures, those moments, those acts, it's not just about giving gifts. It can be about giving your time. It can be about taking the time to listen to someone else, taking the time to be present for someone else, to support others, especially those who are supporting you, those who are loving on you, those who are helping you, those who are trusting you, those who are encouraging you. And this is the place where you can start because it's going to be the easiest for you. Being able to return this kindness towards the people who love you the most, towards the people who stand with you, the people who help raise you, the people who protected you, the people who even enabled for you to be here today at this time. And exuding or feeling and expressing kindness ask us to pause on the bitterness, to pause on the resentment, to move away from it so that you can actually feel the kindness that you're being called to share. The kindness of being kind cannot share the same space with your resentment, with your hatred, with your anger. So it's really a call to really look deep into yourself and for a second, for a moment, for months, days, or years, empty your cup of that resentment, that anger. Let it go. Let it move away. Open that luggage and let everything in it fly away so that your cup can be filled with love and kindness. Because where there is love, there is kindness. And where you are asked to share or to embody kindness is because your cup is already overpouring. Just as you will never run out of love, you will never run out of kindness. You will never run out of opportunity to show that you're kind, to show that you express that kindness, to give that kindness. And as I've mentioned, it starts with the people who have given to you, who are poured into you, whether they pour their genetical material for you to be here in this realm today. And that could be just in remembrance of that specific act of kindness. You may have issues with your parents or your siblings, and you may not understand them. They may not understand you. But that element of kindness will go back to just the respect and the appreciation for you for being here. That your mother and your father came together so you are here. And being kind does not necessarily mean that you run to them to thank them, even though they've been abusive, or if you know they're going to be abusive physically, mentally, or other ways. But it means that even in the sanctity of your own home, that you have that one thought of appreciation for what they did for you to be here, for you to have the life that you have, for you to have and feel the joy that you feel, the kindness that you embody. And that little sparkle of gratitude sometimes is enough. And for some of you, you may have to start there with just a little sparkle. especially if you had so many bad memories, so many moments of anger and pain when you think of your parents or even your blood family members. So go back to that little sparkle of life that was ignited within yourself. The 9 months that your mother carried you. And that despite anything that happened, you took your first breath. You came into this world. And despite everything that you went through, you still are flourishing. And if you're called to be kind, it's because your cup is overflowing of it. And the way to address it is to share it, to embody it. Start there. Because it is that little sparkle, that little flame that may help some of you who feel like you're in the darkest of places find some type of way to be expressive, to be able to express kindness. Once you pass that, you realize that the next step is to extend kindness to what, as we said, those who loved up on you. The people who told you, yes, your idea is a brilliant idea. Yes, you should go for your dreams. Yes, you should accomplish and be exactly who you are, unapologetically. Yes, you should continue. Yes, 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 yes. The people who applaud you along the way as you achieve more and more things, as you birth your first child, as you married the person you love, as you build your family, as you show resilience in hard times, as you sometimes also sacrifice in silence, as you sometimes also suffered in silence. The people who were next to you, who were holding your hand, being your shoulder to cry, being the ear to listen. The people who endured it with you, who cried with you. The people who were telling you you can have a break, who offered you a safe haven for you to rest, for you to recharge. The people who are caring for you, who are caring for your children, for your family, who take care of your wife when she's sick, who helped your wife while she was giving birth. The people who are caring for your husband, the healers in your community, the prophetic people who are helping you, uplifting you, the best friend that has been extending grace over and over after each of your mistakes. To those people who supported you, who gave you their savings to help you build a first business, who gave you their time when it was time, for example, to renovate your house or build your house, to give you their support when you needed a kind ear to vent to, a kind ear, a kind person to encourage you, to give you strength to navigate some of the challenges you may experience in a relationship, in a marriage. The people who saw you through, the people you can run back to when things are falling apart, when you feel like you have nowhere to turn to. The people who saw you grow up, who sang songs from the heart every night for you to be going to sleep, who held your hand, who taught you how to ride your first bike, who told you not to steal, who corrected you in the street when you were acting a fool. Remember every one of those people, and remember, as they extend kindness and love to you, to do the same all around you. To do the same all around you. To take the love and the kindness that they pour into you and be able to pour that into others. To see your cup being fuller and fuller every single day. And as you pour towards others, more comes to you. And as we started from the sparkle that gave you life, that brought you here, to the people that loved you, that love up on you, that protected you, that helped you. Now, sometimes you can also be called to show and extend kindness to strangers. Sometimes the strangers have a familiar feel. It may feel to you that even though you just met this person, you've known them for thousands of years, and you extend them the kindness that you will extend to a stranger in need. And you may be called to do so. And it could also be to someone where you don't feel any affinity with, but who nevertheless needs the help. It may be in a moment where you are witnessing injustices among people that you do not know. And after it's all done, you go towards a person that was done wrong, and you extend kindness toward them. The scenario may be different, the situation and the characters may be different, but the principle is the same. The calling for kindness, for the expression and the embodiment and the sharing of kindness. Now, if you listen carefully, I've always said the calling, meaning something inside, deep down inside of you is telling you this is the right thing to do. This is what you're being called upon. And you have to be able to listen to that voice, to hear that voice, because that voice has nothing to do with people pleaser. The calling for kindness, for divine kindness, is done in divine alignment, is done in divine purpose. The person that you're helping is somebody that needed that help at that moment, at that time. It could have been you passing there, but if it was somebody else, the same calling would have been done. And this is for you to differentiate between that, a calling that's in divine alignment, with a people pleaser, somebody who does things to try to get other people to do things for them. That, my dear, is not kindness. Kindness is not something you do expecting something in return, whether it is respect, love, or whatever else. This is why you have to distinguish those acts, those gestures that you put on, that you do to get something, versus the calling of kindness that comes from your heart, that you're doing it from your heart, that you don't expect anything to be done in return to you. Not even that this strange person or a familiar person or loved one will love you more for it, or will respect you more for it, or will care more for it, or will look at you with admiration. The calling from kindness, you are doing it because the calling for kindness, you are doing it because the reward is in the gesture itself. Because you may go to sleep and keep thinking about that little girl who had not eaten that you saw in the morning, and that you cannot take out of your mind. And the next day you figured out, as you are baking a pie for your own children, you decide to go to that neighbor and offer them a pie for their daughter. Or you even decide to bring them a whole meal because you know that little girl hasn't eaten. And by doing though, you're not asking them to bake things for you as well. That's why you have to be very intentional and very in tune with who you are and the voices that are within you, the calling that are within you. Because those callings have nothing to do with mankind, the system created by mankind. That intuition that's come with divine alignment enables you to know also, if you didn't notice, or if you were not so much in tune with your surrounding, to notice that there are people who are lacking, that you can actually help, that you can contribute to this collective of ours. Sometimes that calling can come for you to help people within your own community, and we mentioned your own family, but it will also call you sometimes to help people who are strangers, people from outside of your community, people in a different country. And again, it isn't all about materialism. This extending of kindness can be a prayer for people who are suffering right now in the world. It could be a moment of silence. It could be gratitude for what those people have extended to us, for things that you are benefiting today that comes from that particular tradition. So do not limit yourself in terms of what kindness may look like, or the different forms that you may be able to express kindness. But know that this calling is not to be manipulated. It cannot be manipulated, and you will know. If your calling for kindness is in alignment, you will not feel that you need something in return. Every time you actually feel that you need something in return, that you can hover over someone else's head saying, I've done so much for you, what have you done for me? This is when you know that what you were doing was not in divine alignment. Even though they may have been kind gestures that help other people, gestures that may have benefited other people in many or several ways. Nevertheless, those gestures were not done in divine alignment. When it is done in divine alignment, you just do what you have to do and you move on. You don't look back seeking, demanding, being entitled to anything. The same way when you birth a child, you love upon that child. You change that child, you protect that child, you serve that child, and you give in so much. And everything that you give, you do it because you're called to do so, and because it is a reward for you to see that child grow, that child bloom into the person that they're becoming. And never in your mind are you expecting or you trying to control. This is not part of that calling. The calling and the invitation is to share and embody kindness. It ends there. It's not to share and embody kindness so you can get it in return. So, for some of you where your mind will go directly there, if I am kind, I'm going to be taken advantage of. People are going to do this and that to me. So we are not talking about the same kindness, and we're certainly not talking about a calling. The reward of the calling is in the calling itself. And if you feel like you've been kind and it wasn't returned, the first thing you need to ask, were you kind to be kind, or were you kind seeking something else that felt lacking within yourself? So, once again, MAAT always asks us to dig deeper into ourselves. A lot of these principles for a lot of you may seem to be surface level, and that's because you haven't dig deep enough. And yes, as you do and express and embody kindness and remain in alignment, the outcome may oftentimes surprise you of things that you've done years ago, and all of a sudden it blooms into something else and you meet the fruit of that in front of you. But it's always something that you did not expect, that you were not demanding or expecting. And this is how divine alignment works. You will be surprised by the fruit of the work that you've been doing. Your name and your action going through people and land and places you couldn't even have dreamed of. The things that you're doing when no one is watching, when no one is expecting you to do anything. They are amazing. And so is the reward. And it is a choice. The invitation of MAAT is just that, an invitation that you can choose to embrace or to ignore. But for those of you who will choose to embrace it, I am already feeling so grateful for your souls and your hearts, for whatever you may have already done, for what you're currently doing, and also for everything that you will do in the future. Thank you.